not owe you conversation. Let's also get that. We don't want to hear from you. Go.
She said, well, I changed my mind. And she has that right.
What is up, my beautiful people, and welcome back to another video. I'm calling this like a part two of my first video about the Joe Budden podcast, and if you can see from the title, that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm telling you right now, if you are a Joe Venger and you are in support of Joe and you gon' find yourself being disrespectful, click off right now. Because I'm just here to have an honest conversation and give my opinion, and I ain't got time to be arguing with nobody. So like I said, if you even think about saying something crazy, just click off right now because I'm not going to argue with you about it. So anyway, Joe Jode and his empire is crumbling around him. Now, in my last video, I made that video like right when the guys, being Rory and Ma, took their hiatus. And so in that time, they came back, did one episode, and they left again. So let's just start from the beginning. So when they finally did come back, and it was like a month later, I was hyped. I think I even put on Twitter, I said, "Oh, my guys are back. I can subscribe back to the podcast." And I went and listened, and listening to that episode, I said, "Yikes, let me not get too hype." And as we can see, the very next week, they were right back off the artwork. Well, not the next week, because they had like Joe and Parks and like all of them, they were going on vacation. So I think I want to say the following week. So as episodes go, that next week, they were right back off the artwork, and he had even taken their name off of the title. So now it is literally just the Joe Budden podcast. And so I was at work, so I didn't see it like when it first came out, and then it popped back up again, but it wasn't a long episode. It was like I just pressed play at work, and then next thing I know, it's like, if you want to hear the rest of this, go over to Patreon. And I'm not subscribed to Patreon. I'm not doing that. Sorry. And so, of course, just going straight to Twitter, somebody is going to get the information, get the videos, and they put it online where Joe is Joeing, screaming his head off, and he has officially fired Rory, and I guess fired Maul as well, and told them that they are no longer welcome back onto the show. And I guess he called them minions, or called Rory measly, basically saying they had nothing to do with the building of the show, and that's it. And so I was just like, damn, so it's really over for real, for real. But okay, let's go back to, once again, I'm gonna keep referencing my last video. I had said it's been tension, you can tell. And not just Rory saying he wanted to fight or inviting Joe to fight. It's just like, it's been tension. You could tell the vibe ain't been the same. And so with that, like, it didn't flow how it used to. And then we have them coming back together to explain what happened. And as they're talking and explaining their side, Joe, like, he not saying nothing, and then when he does speak up, you can hear the attitude in his voice, and then he says this. So when Hov said to me, "So what? What did you do? You just laughed, right? So why can't," because I guess he was laughing at what they were saying, and was just like, okay, so what? You felt disrespected on behalf of him, when you really should have been riding with me, and now that y'all got out y'all grievances, so what? And it's just like, this is my honest opinion. Joe Budden doesn't know how to be Joe Budden. He wants to be Diddy and Hov morphed into one person and put that off as being Joe Budden. Like, he's because yeah, he was a rapper, but being a rapper, he's not seeing the money that he was seeing now. And so it's just like, now that he's this mogul, and it's just like, honestly, like, yeah, he got more deals in the pot, you know, and he's making more money, but he's not seeing Jay-Z and Diddy money. So it's just like, this attitude that you have, you kind of need to tone it down, because you're not on their level yet, although you want to be. And I'm just like, you know, that's kind of where, you know, people have made the jokes of, he started hanging around Diddy, now he fucking over his friends. And it's just like, from the way Joe talked, he kind of always had that spirit in him. And I'm not bringing up any allegations. I'm not rehashing that. It's out there for you to see, for you to Google. If you want to read about it, you can. Because even with me knowing all that, I still listen to the podcast, because the podcast was a good podcast. It was something to listen to. It made me laugh, and I enjoyed it. Because I'm not sleeping with him. He don't want to sleep with me. So all that personal stuff ain't got nothing to do with me. But at some point, it's just like, when is enough is enough? And I'm going to touch on that in a second. So he goes on this rampage of saying, you know, you're fired and you can never come back to this show. And if y'all try to do your own podcast, I'm suing y'all. So it's just like, okay. Then next thing you know, here's a drop. New Rory and Ma. And they, excuse me, put a video on, what is it, Vimeo? I paid the $2 and I watched it and I listened to their explanation of them telling their side. And I believe them. There's no reason for me not to believe them. And, you know, but the sad part is, with me saying that, I also want to say that that is also y'all's fault, Rory and Ma. Because, like I said, with those past allegations and people bringing that stuff up, even on the show, y'all sat by him and said, that's not who you are. You wouldn't do nothing like that. And with y'all believing that y'all grimy friend wouldn't be grimy to y'all, that's y'all's fault. And it's like, y'all should get y'all money. I'm not denying that. I'm glad y'all spoke out about it. I'm glad y'all addressed it and gave y'all side of the truth. And one thing I kind of wish wouldn't have happened, but I know, like, Ma feeling away. Like, Ma started talking crazy. Like, this nigga started wearing a different type of hat. So I knew it was over then. And also on that episode with them all together, with Joe saying he doesn't owe his friends respect, or basically saying he doesn't owe anybody respect, it's like, what was there to talk about after that? And Ma wasn't saying too much, and it was like, you could tell the look on his face. But Ma has said before, even when they were cool, when I see niggas moving funny, you know, like, I'm paying attention to that, and I'm just watching now. Like, we not interacting how we used to interact, because I'm peeping how you moving, and I'm not with that. So it's like, Ma stood by his word, and just like, you know, I realized that it was over with. And he was disrespected. And it's just like, I'm not going to fault him for saying, you know, once I felt disrespected, it was over with. And so with Joe saying, so what? And basically, it's like he let them come on the show to talk, but then he's sitting there upset and he's not, like, responding back to it. So it's just like, okay, you invited us here to have the conversation, but now you don't want to have the conversation. And then you're trying to shit on us by saying, okay, so what? So it's just like, okay, so what did we even do this for? Because, like, what's the purpose? And then I think they said they tried to record another episode after the episode that aired. I think. Or if it was the same episode or what, I don't know. But it was like, it was another episode that tried to be recorded. And after 47 minutes, it was done. And it's like, you talking about guys that do 3 to 4 hour shows twice a week, and it's just like, they only got 47 minutes. So it's like, yeah, this right here, this is done, this is over with. So it's just like, and you know what, I want to give a shout out to, because I went back and watched my old video to reference to this video, the Dominic Kelman podcast. I want to give a shout out to him, because he made the comment. He said, it's sad, but the JBP has been hard to watch for a while. It's a shame I've been watching since episode 1, and it's horrid that it ends this way, but how could they come back after this? Joe is making it worse. And Joe did make it worse, because like I said, Joe'd. And it was another thing that I want to say made me believe Rory and Ma, because when it first happened, and even with this, it's like they didn't rush to bash him like the way it seemed like Joe did. Joe wanted to be the one to have all the say and give all this spice, and they just sat back and, you know, told their story. And that's not to say that just because he was passionate about it, he wasn't telling the truth. But it's like both times he rushed to be the first one to get his narrative out there, and they let him have it. It's basically like, do you, bro? You can do all that if you want to. And you can tell even then, like while they were sitting there, they didn't even really want to do that video. But it's just like, all right, I'm done playing with you. Or done allowing you to play with me. So I just got to get this out. And after this, we're never talking about this again. But Joe's the type of person where he nitpicks until you give it to him and have something to say to him, and it's just like, all right, you done playing with me. And that's basically like the vibe that Ma gave off, because it's just like, all right, you know the type of nigga I am, and basically you calling me pussy, so I'm about to answer to that. So it's official. The JBP, Lord have mercy, with Rory and Ma is officially over. There's no coming back. And Ma put some artwork on his story that says New Rory and Ma. So if they coming out with a podcast, I'll give it a try. Because like I said, I like them all together. Because although Joe is a nutcase, them three, well, 4, because I'm not going to exclude Parks, them 4 together, it was great. But it's no longer, and it's over with. And like I said, I cannot just listen to Joe by himself. Because I don't like, as far as podcasts go, I don't like it. And Ice is one of those people that I feel just says outrageous stuff just to get reactions out of people. I don't even know if he really believes the stuff he be saying. Or he's like another version of Maul trying to be too cool and swear they don't care about nothing. And I don't know. I'll excuse me, because like I said, he's been on the podcast before, and I'm like, I know who Ice is, but it's just like, nah, that's not something I want to listen to every week, which sucks because that really puts a damper on my Wednesdays and my Saturdays, because they always got me through my work days. Because like I said, 4 hours or almost 4 hours, it's just like, that's getting me through my work day quick, and I'm getting some laughs and some real conversation to listen to. So it's just like, ugh. But it's sad, but what can you do about it? So moving on to See the Thing Is, former co-host of that show, which is a part of the Joe Budden network, Olivia Dope, who was a DJ and a co-host of See the Thing Is, she came out with a 25-minute video stating that she had been sexually harassed by Joe Budden. And she gave time clips of the episode and when it happened. And once again on Twitter, because I saw her name trending, and you can see the video. And it's just like, he is gyrating his hips. And I listened to that episode because I do listen to their show. And the show was awkward to listen to, and then to watch the video and to see him hugging her, then gyrating against her, it was uncomfortable. And, you know, I felt bad for her, because in the sense of that happened to her and like nobody spoke up for her. Because in the video, Mandy and Bridget were laughing, but today on their episode, because I did listen, Bridget brought in her therapist so they could talk about it, and they basically tried to explain the situation away, saying they didn't think that that's what it was. And Bridget and Man, like, almost over talking each other to the point of trying to push out like, hey, we care about her. We asked her if she was okay, And she said it was fine. Like, saying that Parks pulled her to the side and said, you know, whatever you want me to edit out, I'll edit it out right now. You can watch me take it out. But it's just like, if y'all was going so hard to edit stuff out, and I'm just like, I don't know why they don't see that as a problem, because if y'all pushing so hard for some stuff to be edited out, that means you're trying to hide something. And that's just my opinion, because it's not just, okay, you don't want that out, because Olivia Dope did say that's out on the internet, that's out there forever. You can forever watch me being assaulted and there's nothing I can do about it. And that was basically, that's the only thing they responded to. Like, hey, we told you we could edit it out, but it's like, it never should have happened. And both of them also saying, like, I know Joe personally. Y'all don't know him like I know him. And I know when he's being performative. Even if that's being performative, it's still being nasty, and he still assaulted her. Because it's just like, even if you want to give her a hug, why are you gyrating your hips? And I think that was like their first time meeting face to face. Like, she didn't know him before then. So it's just like, she came there off the strength of Bridget. And in that episode, I do want to give Bridget grace in how she did sound very upset. Because she's like, you know, I asked her to be on the show. I brought her into the situation. So basically what happened to her is my fault. And you could tell she felt bad about it. But I also want to say, in the same breath, you're taking away from her experience with focusing in on you. And Mandy also, I don't know her like that. I've interacted with her a few times on Twitter, but besides that, I don't know that lady. It also seemed like they were trying to focus on Bridget, like, asking the therapist, how does she stop feeling this way? You know, it's not her fault. How does she stop feeling this way? And it's like, really, at this point, Bridget's feelings about this really don't matter. And it's all about Olivia and what she said happened to her, and that's her experience. And Bridget did say, she was like, you know, I believe her. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying that this is how I see it. But in the way you're saying it, that you're seeing it, you are saying that it didn't happen that way, and that you know this abuser on a more personal level, so it couldn't have happened that way because you know him. And it's just like, that's fucked up. So at this point, it seems like the JBP, because I keep wanting to say something else, network is in shambles. And I'm not going to say it's over, because there are so many men and women out there who root for Joe Budden and love him and will continue to support him despite what's going on. So it's not that it's over. The numbers may not be as high, but it's not over. Basically, that's all I got. Because, you know, people, the common tweet that I saw when this was going on, it's just like, do y'all know who Joe Budden is? This has happened multiple times. Everything he touches falls apart at some point. He doesn't know how to keep a good thing going. So it seems like it's over, but in my mind, he might take this and do something else with it. So it's just like, he's never down for the count. But people like that never are. They can always make something out of nothing. And those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. And have a beautiful day. Peace.